and I didn't even have my mic on that whole time. So that was even worse. All right, welcome to the show. For 1 minute and 18 seconds, I'm going to cut that out. Hey, I have two amazing guests that are coming in today, and it seems like my scheduling is a little off. So as I wait for those gentle guests to come in, I am going to pause my screen and play some videos.
And that's why I'm so passionate about more schools having media in the curriculum. Because, Coach Jeffrey, when you talk about marginalized students, there are schools that do have this, but a lot of students of color in their schools, they don't have it. And certainly people will say some schools marginalized with the marginalized students don't have a budget. They don't have to have a full production studio, Coach Jeffrey. They don't have to have 3 and 4 cameras, green screen, lights, and everything like that. Nowadays, if students have a cell phone, which depending on what grade level you're in, if you're talking about junior high school, most students have a cell phone. And as long as they can get some apps, they can start right there creating content and really starting to, again, push out positive pieces of content, tell positive stories that can inform and inspire.
But it's amazing, and I've gotten some really good feedback from the book, especially now in the era of COVID. People are looking for something inspirational, something that's going to help them rise above this moment so that they can see the beauty underneath the struggle.
What does purpose mean to you?
Purpose is when your passion and your why, they collide. And that's what I call your success. And that's how you create your best bus story. So when you have that passion and your why, that defines that's your purpose. And when you're in purpose, Jeffrey, because you're not concerned about the time, you're just in that moment. And as a principal, I could walk by a classroom and I could see those teachers that were in purpose because those people are passionate. And you can feel their energy without them saying a word.
everybody. I have some big news to announce that this station has allowed me to become an audio creator on this platform. I have created some playlists, and these playlists will be telling stories, and these stories will be out for people to listen to. The first one that I did was taken from my good friend Scott Moody. And my man Scott Moody always talks about February, so I made a playlist about February. You ought to go check that out. And then I also made a new playlist called Snowpocalypse 2021 Slow Jams. Check that out. Tell me what you think. Thank you for your support. Down, and now we're able to record. You can see yourself in the little corner. And what's really cool about this presentation is I've added video, and then you can record using down, and now we're able to record. You can see yourself in the little corner. And what's really cool about this presentation is I've added video, and then you can record using down, and now we're able to record. You can see yourself in this, and as it plays, your presentation is going to allow your video to be going. Although you don't see it moving right now, it definitely will. And after you finish recording, you can this, and as it plays, your presentation is going to allow your video to be going. Although you don't see it moving right now, it definitely will. And after you finish recording, you can this, and as it plays, see that video. I even added some GIFs to this presentation just to show you how that would work. I'm thinking it'd be really cool to get your students' attention or your audience attention on what you're presenting. See that video. I even added some GIFs to this presentation just to show you how that would work. I'm thinking it'd be really cool to get your students' attention or your audience attention on what you're presenting. See that video. I even added some GIFs to this presentation just to show you how that would work. I'm thinking it'd be really cool to get your students' attention or your audience attention. Then from there, you can use this with your students. It'd be great. It helps you to get your students' attention. You can use video.
And emotional well-being at the forefront.
Well, I think one of the things that I've learned through this experience, working with my students and the parents, I'm the liaison for the parents because I help them with the technology. I think one of the most important parts is that we have to take some time, a few weeks or a month, to really just focus on getting them on their social emotional learning, and their well-being. Listening to them. A lot of parents, when they were frustrated with the technology, I heard a lot of their stories, and some of them, they just wanted to talk. They just wanted to let me know we're learning with one device, and we have to go through all 5 kids in that one device, and they have to all have Zoom session. But at the other end, there were certain requirements, and sometimes we get so hung up on, they have to turn in their work.
This is your favorite coach, Coach Jeffrey. It wasn't until later in my career that I realized that applying creativity to problem solving is critical in engaging students. Claudio Zavala Jr. and Fred Benitez don't just understand that component of the learning cycle, they also use it to train teachers and students. Both of them inspire my growth as an educator. Claudio Zavala Jr. and Fred Benitez are renowned educational technologists in Burleson ISD and Eanes ISD, respectively, that develop training for teachers, staff, and students. Both are Adobe education leaders and have presented at educational conferences like ISTE, TCEA, and Adobe for Education. In this episode, we discuss the importance of being creative in teaching and problem solving. We discuss why it's important to take bite-sized or chicken nugget opportunities to incorporate creativity into the learning.
And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, Flipboard fam. This is your favorite coach, Coach Jeffrey, and I'm here with two amazing guests. I'm lucky enough to call them co-workers. I would like to introduce to you Miss Jennifer Kincannon and Mr. Randy Marble.
Hello.
Hey.
Yeah, you definitely got to do better than that. So,
Okay.
Jennifer, Miss Jennifer Kincannon, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I am an English teacher and I teach journalism. I teach Journalism 1 and I teach advanced journalism. I'm a mom of 3. I live in a small town south of Houston, and I really enjoy teaching kids about the media.
Exactly. Thank you so much. And I also would like to introduce Mr. Randy Marble. Randy, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, sir?
Sure thing. I'm the director of bands here at Columbia, Missouri ISD, and I've been here 18 years. And teach band and teach, sometimes we teach music theory. Right now, I also get to teach an intro to audiovisual class.
I'm sorry, we got to do that one again. Okay. All right, and make sure I turn off all my things, and we're going to go right back to that. It's okay. It's all right.
You know it's going to happen again in 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Teaching and learning. Why are you so passionate about teaching history and students learning history?
I guess I've always wanted kids to really like history more. I never was taught history in middle school. I went to a Catholic school that never really actually taught us history. So I had my first experience with history actually my freshman year, jumping right into AP World History. I was just really inspired by it, but all the other kids I would see around me would fall asleep in class. And then they would fail their AP exam. And so I've always wanted to help out kids kind of see history in a better light, because there's so many fun stories in history, so many interesting stories that I guess schools will look past and kids will look past. And there's just so many ways to make history fun and to kind of keep kids, learning. And I think the reason why I'm so passionate about it is because of how kind of history has changed me. Originally going in, never having a history class, to all of a sudden going into a history class. And now it's my major all of a sudden. I guess 4 or 5 years later. But
And that's why I'm so passionate about more schools having media in the curriculum. Because, Coach Jeffrey, when you talk about marginalized students, there are schools that do have this, but a lot of students of color in their schools, they don't have it. And certainly people will say some schools with the marginalized students don't have a budget. They don't have to have a full production studio, Coach Jeffrey. They don't have to have 3 and 4 cameras, green screen, lights, and everything like that. Nowadays, if students have a cell phone, which depending on what grade level you're in, if you're talking about junior high school, most students have a cell phone. And as long as they can get some apps, they can start right there creating content and really starting to, again, push out positive pieces of content, tell positive stories that can inform and inspire.
Right. Right. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed during this or any broadcast belong solely to our guests or our hosts. These broadcasts do not represent or reflect the views of their employers, sponsors, or affiliated organizations.
Welcome to the Flipboard EDU podcast with your host, William Jeffrey, where we collaborate, communicate, and educate with the greatest educators in the world on Flipboard. Let's start the show.
Welcome back, Flipboard fam. This is your favorite coach, Coach Jeffrey. And on March 2nd, 2021, Texas Governor Gregory Abbott, along with Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves, decided to waive the mask requirements for their respective states. Face masks have become our new normal in the COVID-19 pandemic, since they were quickly required to slow the spread of the coronavirus. Moreover, public health experts say that masks are key in ensuring schools are safe for students and staff. This plan was shared with all stakeholders simultaneously as a newscast, without mention of a strategy for the safe return of students, teachers, or guidance for transportation.
Hey, Stacy, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Stacy? Stacy, I'm sorry. Okay, good. All right, welcome to the show. I'm going to put you up here just for a second, just to make sure I can make sure you're good. Okay.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Great.
Okay.
Welcome.
Switch inputs.
Hold on.
Hi.
Let me fix my camera real quick. All right. Hey, how you doing?
Good.
All right, good. So a little bit about the show. I'm using a new software to schedule, and it appears that when I put in the time, it gives you guys a different time. So I apologize for that.
It's okay. That's why I was like, I just want to make sure that I was going at the right time. But
yeah, appreciate you coming on. What we're going to do is we're going to just basically not make it too serious, not to be too stiff, and just make it real easy. If we stray from some of our questions, the flow of the conversation will go as best it could.
That's all right.
Okay, good. All right, so tell me again, what do you do?
So I am the project manager for Indiana Public Broadcast Station's implementation for Datacasting in Indiana.
Okay, wonderful. You guys had an amazing presentation at South by Southwest. I was thoroughly impressed. Told everybody I could about it.
Excellent. I like to hear that.
Yeah.
I like to hear that. We're all very excited about it.
Yeah. How are you guys using it in your community?
So we are using Datacasting to meet all kinds of internet inequity. So it's both the haves and the have-not question for internet access, but it's mostly for where cell phone like even hotspots aren't working. Is kind of the schools that we're having raise their hands is where hotspots were thought to be the answer, and they're not.
Gotcha. Dr. Fraser, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you? Hey, Stacy.
Hey.
Okay, so let me apologize to you too. So I've already apologized to Stacy. So basically, I'm starting a new software, and I'm thought it would give, like, if I said 6 my time, 7 your time, but for some reason it didn't work like that. So I want to apologize to you first off before we get started.
It's no worries. When I 7 our time, but then Stacy asked, and then I was like, no, it's 8 our time.
Yeah.
I had the evening free. Perfectly fine.
Yeah. So my lovely wife was helping, trying to be, because I normally record at 7. And so I told her that after we had replied to the email, Babe, I think is, I think we messed up. So yeah, I'm going to take responsibility for that. So first of all, I'm going to welcome you all to the show. How the show works is I'm going to count it down and record it, and we'll do a visual recording for YouTube as well. So we'll post it on YouTube, but this is mainly an audio podcast. It goes out on all stations. We got listeners in 17 countries, so you'll be able to find it on any station, anywhere. Okay. Then we'll also write a blog about this and then post it in our Flipboard for Educators magazine. They have a really large circulation. It's on a bunch of devices. Okay, so you'll be able to go to Flipboard, type in your name, and then your name will pop up. But it will be over a lot of places. Now, how much traction is going to get, I never know. But it's going to be easily shareable and easily found. And it's something that I really think is going to be super popular because you guys are doing some amazing things. Okay. So also too, I'm going to also just, if not get off the topic, but if we talk about a topic and it gets real good and I ask you a question that's not on the list, don't get scared. It's just that I'm really interested and I'm just going to talk it out. Okay.
I think we can handle it.
I'm going to close the door.
Good.
Stephanie, I not only close my door, but I have it like where the door handles are like tied together so nobody can come in right now either.
Oh, that's cool. I wish my family, I had to unplug the Alexa because they like to do the Alexa talk back and forth. So I know the feeling. All right, so let's count this down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, Flipboard fam. This is your favorite coach, Coach Jeffrey, and I have two amazing guests here. I have Miss Stacy Fitzsimmons and Dr. Stephanie Frazier. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Hey, Stephanie. No, excuse me. I'm going to scratch that. Stacy, tell the listening audience a little bit about yourself.
So I am Stacy Fitzsimmons, and I am a management consultant based out of Indianapolis, Indiana. And I have been contracted through the Indiana public broadcasting stations to manage the datacasting implementation here in Indiana, the subject of what we're talking about today.
Excellent. And then also Dr. Stephanie Frazier. Introduce yourself, please.
Sure. Hello, everyone. I am Stephanie Frazier, and I serve as the Vice President of Education for South Carolina ETV, which is our state's public media network. I've been there for about 2 years, and for the past year, datacasting has been my life.
Excellent. And so let me tell everybody how I found out about you guys. So I was at South by Southwest EDU on Thursday, and I saw your presentation about datacasting. And it blew my mind. And simply because I'm an assistant principal and I work in a rural area, some of our families in my school district can't afford internet. There's no way for them. And I just happened to stumble upon your presentation and oh my God, this right here is just an amazing thing that you guys have done. So I want to start talking to Stephanie first. What is datacasting? I wrote EduCasting, but what is datacasting, please?
Sure. So EduCast is the platform that we South Carolina that delivers educational data casting. So Stacy may certainly call it something different. If you're talking to others in other states, they may have another name for the platform, but educational data casting as a concept is shared among all of our projects. And quite simply, that is the use of a broadcast signal to send instructional content to a student's device. So like we're recording this podcast right now, there's an audio and a visual component. If you have a student who would not otherwise be able to access this content, with data casting, you could send the audio and the video file to that student over our broadcast signal. It's going to go to their iPad, their cell phone, whatever device they have. If it can connect to a network, they can receive the datacast, but it is not using the internet.
That is amazing. So, therefore, families who cannot afford the internet are still able to receive videos, let's say documents and that type of thing, correct? Am I understanding that properly?
That is absolutely correct. If you can upload it into a learning management system, you can send it via a datacast. So Word, any of the Office products, a video, audio file, it can be sent.
Amazing. So, Stacy, this next question is for you, and I just want to phrase it in the right way. Originally, I was like, what made you think that this can serve families? But how is this serving the families in your community?
So in Indiana, we originally embarked on this thinking that we were going to serve the kids that don't have internet. We thought we were serving a situation where it was a have or a have not scenario with internet. What we have found along our journey is that there is such a broad spectrum of internet access within our state and across the country. And so we're actually finding that there's a huge gray area of internet access. From we have internet access, we say we have internet access because it's mom's cell phone, but that's the only data access we have in our house, all the way up to, we have dial-up. So technically we have internet. I can't watch a video if it's required. Then we do have those that do have broadband, and it might be sufficient to host a student for their day, but maybe not everyone in the family at the same time, especially if there's multiple learners or multiple parents at home trying to work too. So we're serving all of those families, not just the ones that don't have internet, but anyone that's on that spectrum that can't support an entire family using internet at the same time.
That's amazing. And so are all people in the household, if they have a device, are they all able to get that same signal without much interruption?
Yes. So each house is equipped with the EduCast or Datacast unit, which looks like an old school cable box for those of us old enough to remember them, and a window antenna. And that's the equipment that you need. You need to be able to bring in the broadcast signal, and you need this box. And then from the box, any student that has a device that that can access Wi-Fi can bring down their content. And it can be specified down to the student. So if you have multiple students in the household, they're only seeing the content targeted to them.
Man, get out of here. What?
Absolutely.
What?
Absolutely. And it's either done by login or just by saying we have 3 kids. We have a 2nd grader, an 8th grader, and a 10th grader. And so it's going to recognize by the email address that the student logs into the system with that I need this class, this class, this class. And it's only pulling in that content, and that's what the student's going to see.
Wow. Wow. I was not expecting that answer.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I got Stephanie. What are some of the successes that you guys have been seeing using this technology?
Well, I do want to just take a moment to speak generally to the success that this particular project has brought in terms of enhancing the partnerships between public media and our K-12 partners. I think that, public media, if you're familiar with our mission, it's always been rooted in the provision of educational resources, and we have too many to mention. But I think with datacasting and our response in terms of using this technology during the pandemic, we've been able to just reposition our seat at the table a bit and show some enhanced value of our legacy technology and the ability to offer services to students in this gray area that Stacy's talking about. But in terms of individual successes, I often tell people this is probably the most meaningful work that I've ever done in my career. Because when you talk to grandparents, when you talk to parents or, students who typically are not able to get the YouTube videos, or when they go home, they don't get what the other students are able to log in and see.
Mm-hmm.
And you plug it up for them and you're like, okay, I'm click here and you should be able to see your assignments in your videos. They're like, what? I mean, and we're talking
Mm-hmm.
about some of the most rural parts of our respective states. And
Mm-hmm.
so for us, the success has been connectivity and enhanced learning experience for those students who can't take the virtual field trip because they can't download the video. They can't complete the assignment, or they're having to go to their grandparents' house to get to the internet to even figure out what their teacher wants them to do. So for the student, it's creating those rich learning experiences. But then also for the teachers, some of them had not heard from their students, right, during the pandemic, because, okay, they may come and pick up their paper packet. We'll know if we're going to see them again. We'll know if we're going to get that paper packet back. But with Datacasting, you have some sort of way to communicate with that student, even if it's just let me send you a quick video to check in, Stephanie, to see how you doing. You okay on the other side? So those are the types of stories that we have, heard and been able to experience, and it's just been amazing.
Man, I'm sitting up here saying, man, that is life-changing for a lot of our students. And before I take up this conversation, Stacy, do you think that schools should start using this form of communication instead of Wi-Fi, or in conjunction with Wi-Fi?
I absolutely do. And this is not a replacement for Wi-Fi. For your students that have access to strong internet, this doesn't replace that. But what it does is it augments Wi-Fi capabilities, and it will give access to content to students that otherwise would not have access to the content. So if you have students that either can't complete assignments after school because they don't have the internet access to watch the video and type the response, or to rewatch the lesson that everybody else gets to rewatch to understand the concepts, this is being able to reach those students in either an internet desert or in a place where it's just not strong enough internet to be able to stream. This will reach those students, whether it's during the pandemic or after. This is going to reach those students and is a tool for equity. I mean, I know that that's a big word this year, but this is really a tool for equity. That's what we're talking about here. Whether it's rural or urban, it is a solution for being able to raise up those students that otherwise would not be able to have the content that they can get through Datacasting. And it won't replace Wi-Fi, and it won't replace other types of communication, because right now it is just one way. So students can receive content, but they can't send anything back, because it's just like TV. You can consume TV, but you can't send anything back through TV right now. So that's, it won't ever replace our existing communication channels, but it can certainly augment them.
That's amazing. So, Stephanie, in your community, how much does this equipment cost, and are you able to use recycled material with this?
So the equipment package, and it has 2 to 3 different connectivity parts, the antenna. It's about $200 to $225. I think as the demand grows for this particular technology, the cost is certainly going to go down. But here's the good thing. For families, we have been able in all of our states to secure funding in partnership with our departments of ed, or either through CARES Act funding, to provide these devices for free to students. And so there's no cost to the family. There may be minimal cost to the districts, but in most cases, grant funding is covering the infrastructure and all of that. And so in comparison, it is not the same. We've talked about that. But if you're talking about a MiFi device or a monthly service, that is not there. That barrier to access is not there because we have the funds to provide these devices, and for the next several years in many cases. I'm sorry, I didn't answer your question about recycling technology. Once a student is done with a device, there is an ability to return it to the district and give it to another student if that is desired. That's just going to be on a district by district basis because every district is different. They're administering them in many ways, like the MiFi program. So a student may keep that Datacasting device as long as it remains current, for their entire middle or high school career.
That is simply amazing. And, okay, before I go to this, so it works like a normal computer. I would just be able to access it and then the information comes up.
Yes. You would. How it works is you connect through your Wi-Fi settings. So instead of accessing, the cable company's Wi-Fi, you're accessing the EduCast Wi-Fi. And you connect through that to the box that's basically acting like a miniature server sitting on your living room floor or on your TV stand that's connected to the antenna. And through that connection, you're bringing in what was sent over the broadcast signal.
What was broadcasted? And how did you guys come up with that?
There's actually a vendor that has been doing datacasting for public safety for 20 years. And how it started in Indiana was the executive director of IPBS had been part of a test over a year ago about a school safety exercise, and approached the vendor and said, "Has this ever been used in education?" And that was about the same time that Stephanie and her group had approached them too. And it became a conversation amongst states about how this could actually work. And Stephanie's team ran with it. And Indiana eventually got with the program, and we were able to follow in their footsteps.
You know what? I'm only disappointed in the fact that the great state of Texas was not allowed to be in the first group of it. I'm just going to tell you, the Texans, we don't really take too kindly to being last, but we'll definitely like to join the party. I'm telling you that right now.
Oh, come on! You need to join our Thursday party.
Well, you're not last. They're number.
You're not last.
Yes, come on.
Yeah, yes, that is amazing. Okay, so
your PBS station.
Oh, it's going down. Trust me. I am going to send this audio recording when I get everything done. I'm sending this to my superintendent and be like, "Hey, man, this is going to be," and because we have a area, we're down towards near the coast of Texas. The coast of Galveston. I'm sorry, coast of the Gulf of Mexico. We're kind of close there, and there's just some rural pockets who they don't get cellular data very well. They don't get much of any signals, but I think the television signal does work there. I think that they do get television signal. And so I think this will be a game changer for a lot of our families, especially if it's something that's low cost as $200 to get the components. We already give devices at our school. So I just think that would be a great thing for us because we have a lot of hotspots. Really, I'm just talking too much, but we gave out hotspots. People had to bring hotspots back because they weren't able to catch the signal. And this right here is just cuts down on a lot of equity issues that a lot of schools are facing in the pandemic. And I wrote about that on a lot of episodes that we have done previously. So I'm super excited about this. Stacy, I think that you answered this question already, but I'm going to ask it again. You said it's one-way communication. Can you do a video chat on that?
So in the current iteration of datacasting, you can't. And I say that because there's only so much broadcast spectrum that we can use, and a standard Zoom call would take up a whole bunch of that. So I kind of equate it to the highway. And right now it's 2:00 in the morning and we're cruising on the highway. Nobody's around and we can get through pretty good. What's about ready to happen is we're about ready to hit rush hour, and there's only going to be so much movement at a time. So a standard Zoom call would pretty much bring everything to a screeching halt, and that would be like the multi-car pileup scenario. So right now, we're saying no to Zoom calls. There are some advances in television technology that are on the horizon that might change that. But until that technology is implemented, it's limited to one-way communication. But we are working with districts in how to, what we're calling the return path. How do we establish that return path? And so there's many different scenarios that we are working with districts in order to establish this return path. Some of them are very old school, and it's a thumb drive exchange. You know, you go and pick up your lunches and you have to turn in your thumb drive and you get a new thumb drive, and that's how the exchange works. Others are a little bit more sophisticated in that you can go and use Wi-Fi in the school parking lot. You go and connect for a few minutes and hit submit on all your assignments, and then you can go back home. It's 5 to 10 minutes in a parking lot rather than all day in a parking lot, which I would consider a huge win. Then the others are where there is that gray area internet, where you do have a cell phone or you do have internet, but it's not good enough to stream. It's good enough to send a PDF back. So you can attach to that Wi-Fi briefly in order to send materials back. It takes a lot less bandwidth to send back than it does to consume. So if you're in one of the gray area internet homes, that return path is a lot easier. But there's lots of ways to combat that. School buses driving around with Wi-Fi. You go to your bus stop at the normal time. You have to log in and send all your assignments while the bus is there, and then it pulls off and goes to the next stop. So there's all different ways, and we work to customize that with each district.
That is amazing. Just another thought, and I don't know if this is possible, but radio waves, would it be able to send over radio waves?
Stephanie, you take that one.
You want me to take that
I
one?
do.
So we have gotten all kinds of questions. You know, I don't know that the answer to that is no. I honestly think that right now, though, the focus is on the broadcast signal for television. Okay. So I would, before it even gets to radio, the question that's often asked of me is, can it get to television? Can we watch on the TV? And so we're not there yet. But I do think that that is a possibility with the enhancements that Stacy was mentioning earlier. So I would think we're closer to that than radio, but that is a question that I will certainly take there.
You know, that's good. And you know, the thumb drive exchange, come get your lunch, do the exchange. I can see so many different programs that can be ran, STEAM camps, STEM camps, low socioeconomic students, high socioeconomic. It doesn't even matter. This right here is such a game changer, and I want to see this technology in the hands of anybody who will use it. So, oh my gosh, where can if I'm an educator or a school, like how can I what do I need to do?
Go first, Stacy.
I would say reach out to your PBS station. Okay. And have them get in contact with either IPBS or SCETV. You know, they're the ones that went through the process with the states to have the conversations about bringing datacasting technology to the state. And likely they're the ones that might have a little bit of money, maybe some CARES Act Part 2, that might be able to help fund this kind of project. I think those are the best ways to start. You know, we've actually started a multi-state group that we're all talking every other week now of, you know, this is what I'm experiencing with deployments. What are you experiencing? Has anybody come across this yet? We created instructions. Who wants them? Those kinds of things, so that we're using resources wisely, but we're also trying to pave the way for other states to join us. And we've already tripped over some of the potholes, so we'll tell you where they are. And hopefully you don't step in the same ones that we stepped in. But that's, I think connecting with the other states that have done this, would be a great first step. And then also talking with your Department of Ed within the state, to see where there's interest or if it's been explored.
That is super duper amazing. Like, wow. You have something to add, Dr. Fraser?
No, I agree with all of those sentiments. I think that it really can be a grassroots effort. We had a technology and we were like, hey, we have something cool. Let's see if we can make this work. But certainly if you have teachers who are interested and like students need this technology, I think that can certainly go a long way in terms of partnering with your Department of Ed or your school district and, reaching out to PBS to say, hey, we want to know more about this. And certainly we are happy to answer any questions. Okay. I told you Datacasting has been my life for the past year, and I mean that. So any questions that we can answer, we are happy to do so. And I'll just share our website, and from there you Google search or whatever, but scetv.org/datacasting has all of the information about our pilot and, what we're doing. And we're happy to, if you get to me, we'll connect you with whomever you need to. And I'm sure I speak for Stacy as well.
Yeah. And the version is the same thing. It's just ipbs.org/datacasting.
Again, I was so impressed by your presentation at South by Southwest EDU. You ladies did an amazing job. You all seemed like there were other states there, and you guys all seemed like y'all all worked together. And I was very impressed, but I was also a little hurt again that Texas wasn't involved in it. So we're gonna have to do better.
We're gonna have to change that. We're just
gonna have to. I'm gonna write my senator and be like, "What is going on with your life, sir? Pay attention. These people are doing it over here. They're doing it." But so quick question: where can our guests find you at, Stacy, on social media?
I am at SNF Writing on Twitter. And I am just Stacy Fitzsimmons on LinkedIn, and Facebook is my company is SNF Writing Solutions. So that's kind of where I am.
To follow you right now. All right. So if you see me doing that, I'm not really stalking you. I'm just saying, like, that's some good stuff right there. SNF Writing. All right. And Dr. Fraser, what about you?
So I am on LinkedIn, Stephanie Fraser, and I would send you all to SCETV Education. That's where we typically are very active on social media. And you can look us up on Instagram as well. But yeah, y'all please connect with me on LinkedIn.
Yes, I surely will add you. I will add you as well. Okay, well, ladies, I appreciate you guys taking the time to talk with me. And I am looking forward to whatever else you guys are doing. I'm just going to just keep y'all around. And I hope that we'll be able to work together in the future if just to be able to work with you guys, because my school district and my students, we need you guys. So I appreciate the work that you're doing. I appreciate you stepping out equity and equality in ways that just it's just an amazing thing. So I thank you, ladies, very much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
All right, bam. That's the episode. I appreciate y'all so much. So here's what's going to happen. Good. Yeah, y'all did good. Do y'all do podcasts all the time?
Mm-mm.
Okay, excellent. Good.
This is my first podcast. So I'm excited. Yes. Yes.
And I'm dying under the light. It's too hot, so I'm turning it off.
Yeah, go ahead. Good. You good now. There we go. You great. So I'm going to write the article, and then what I'll do is I'm going to tag you on social media. You might see me like on your LinkedIn, but I'm I'm going through. I'm tagging you in the article. So if you see me searching and all that, that's what I'm doing. Okay.
You're going to social
You're not
stalk us, huh?
stalking.
Yeah. It's professional. I promise. And then what we'll do from there, we'll share it in our Flipboard magazine. If y'all want to send me the names of the other states who are involved, just because I don't want to leave anybody out, you can do that too, and I'll put that in there because I know the work that y'all doing. Probably the awareness is good. So whatever I can do to help you ladies, just let me know. And again, no charge, none of that. It's all about helping kids. So I'm not the type of person charging all that other stupid stuff when we talk about children and helping and all of that. Okay. Okay, great. So
This
thank
has
y'all
been
very much.
amazing. Thank you so much.
Stephanie, you want to send them the state list, or do you want me to do it?
You can do it.
I think
you're gonna say that.
I still have access to the South by Southwest. So if I add all of
that's
them,
so outdated.
Oh, it is. Oh,
But the states are there. The states are there.
Are all
I
of
think.
them? Did you include like
Maybe not.
New Mexico
Maybe not
and Oklahoma
Virginia.
and
Virginia's on there, but I don't think so. Yeah, you can send him an updated list. I'm happy to do it if you would like for me to.
I just don't know if I know all the states at this point. I'll copy you on it, and if I forget somebody,
then I'll add some. Okay, that'll work. That'll work.
It's like I slept, so somebody else joined.
Right, it changes daily, which is
so when's Texas joining? Right.
Man, don't worry about it. We coming. I'm telling you right now.
I know.
We're gonna do something now.
I'm like, they're coming.
We're coming with our cowboy boots and a hat. I'm telling you now. We're gonna join the Zoom with the hats on. So I'm telling you.
I love it.
You better.
Hey, well, thank you, ladies, very much. I really appreciate it. And then I'll be in touch with you via email. Okay.